Hey guys, Richard and Ryden Zoom here again in the shed doing my latest review for Doctor Who. Random thing first, Pokemon, I can barely see it, Pokemon Platinum on the DS, playing on my new 2DS XL. It just ran back to yesterday because I beat Pokemon Green over the weekend, so I thought let's go to the new Pokemon game. And oh, here comes the ferret. Hello, what are you doing? Oh, excusez-moi. There you go. Should get the sound going so you got a bit of background noise in this video besides my voice. So it's always appreciated. But let's crank the volume right up. Hey, Mr. Ferret there. Quill can hear it, can't you, boy? Yeah. Okay, so on to it then. So new series 3, episode 4. Such a lame title. Daleks in Manhattan. Like, the hell? Daleks in Manhattan. Why not call the first episode Autons in London? Yeah, so basically this is the other episode. It seems there's a... Okay, it's actually so noisy that's starting to annoy me, so let's turn it down a bit. Yeah, so basically this is just a detour. The whole you've got one trip thing into the past, into the future. This is just going to be a detour on the way back home or something. I don't know. It didn't really make much sense at all. Okay, so basically the plot is in 1930s New York in the era of the Great Depression, and the Daleks were in New York plotting to take over the world. So thinking of brain-esque. Yeah, basically they've decided they need to evolve and change their way to become the supreme form of life again. They can't just be Daleks, they need to combine themselves with humans. So, like I said yesterday, this is one of my least favourite two-parters, but I've always felt part 1 was actually pretty good, and I still stand by that. It's got pretty good atmosphere. So before we get to it, Andrew Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man, about... Is it 2010 or 2011? I think it's 2011. So 4 years later, he'd be Spider-Man, and his American accent is so awesome. I assume when I first watched this episode, he was American, even though obviously Doctor Who gets English actors, but even though this wasn't filmed in America, it was set in America, so I figured that was it. Yeah, Andrew Garfield is obviously great again, slight hint of romance with Martha, good on him. But of course, straight onto the bad, you've got more of the whole, oh, the Doctor doesn't love me, boo-hoo-hoo, that sort of thing again. The American girl Tallulah picks up on Martha's, the vibe Martha's giving out, and she's like, it's obvious. Like, not to him. I was like, God, alright, here we go again. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. I just feel that nothing wrong with unrequited love, etc. Those stories. Done well, can be done great, but it just devalues Martha so badly. You think she's so much more. Yeah, she's a impressionable young woman, but how old is Martha? Mid-20s? If she's like, I assume she's got the doctorate if she's working at a hospital as a doctor. Well, she says she hasn't passed yet, but she must be close enough to it. But yeah, she's got to be mid-20s, and it just seems a bit bad they were to go down this angle full stop. But on to it, and anyway, on to the episodes. Yeah, that's pretty good. Sorry, that part's pretty bad. So on to the good of the episode. So yeah, you've basically got two guys, the complete opposite. You've got the guy who's basically leader of a group of people living in the homeless area, who basically is a former soldier, and he's like sworn to do good and help people. And then you got the villain, the guy who's basically working with the Dalek, who's like the worst type of guy you can imagine. And yeah, he was also a soldier. It's inspired him to survive no matter what it takes. And yeah, the Daleks contacted him, seeing him as like the most like them, and of course he's more than happy to basically help them put Dalek plates on the Empire State Building for part of the grand plan, and to sacrifice people to become part of their pig slave army. So yeah, it's good to see the contrast between those two characters. And yeah, the villain is I like him. He really is the worst kind of guy imaginable. Someone who just doesn't give a shit about anyone except himself and getting what he wants. Yeah, it's good to get the villain like that. Very similar to Van Statten in the 2001 episode Dalek. So yeah, again, great character there. I love the difference between these two guys, and how he's like basically tricking people thinking there's money if they go and just do some cleaning in this sewer, and of course it's just a way to sacrifice people. Martha and Doctor get split up. Martha ends up Frank, Andrew Garfield's guy, gets abandoned in there because the guy who always help everyone admitted he just panicked and left him there. But yeah, the Daleks kept him alive as him and a bunch of other people part of their final experiment, and the old sucker, this time scan your intelligence, you're intelligent, become part of the plan, the Dalek master plan. Low intelligence, you get turned into a pig slave. It's they're very efficient, we'll give them that. So yeah, basically the lead Dalek Sec, the black one that escaped from series 2, All the others escaped, which is kind of annoying because I hope at least one of those like other 3 Daleks would be killed in the when they were fighting off the Cybermen and the torch would work at the same time. But all 4 of them got away, which is absolutely irritating. They did something called emergency temporal shift, where they just able to get away no matter what. Although it turns out like completely demolished their power cells. Oh, spoiler for next episode. Oh well, it's such a minor thing. But yeah, they all got away, and Dalek basically decides to sacrifice himself. Merges the human with himself because that human is most like them. Which can't argue with that. And yeah, the episode ends with him climbing out of the Dalek casing, like this horribly mutated person. It looks nasty. And if anyone watched this episode in 07, I'm sure they'll remember the Radio Times and probably all the other ones. No, maybe it's just Radio Times. But yeah, sticking him on the the human Dalek on the cover for the next episode before episode 1 had come out as well. Keep that in mind. So yeah, bloody annoying that they did that sort of thing. Hang on, no, they didn't. They always started on Saturday, but on Tuesday. Okay, so yeah, if you hadn't watched it by Tuesday, you'd see it on the TV guide, stuff like that. So yeah, I always hated the BBC Radio Times did that. That's a famous story where the episode Earthshock in the 80s, Peter Davison, the Doctor Who staff had to actually fight the BBC over their desire to market the Cybermen coming back after a few years. Like they wanted to put them on the Radio Times, and Doctor Who staff were like, no, it's got to be a secret. And yeah, obviously I wasn't watching Doctor Who, but anyhow, I wasn't alive back then. But I remember watching it, having never didn't know the Cybermen were coming back. Obviously, I didn't watch them in order. I just watched the odd episode here and there. But yeah, it was a great moment, and I bet it would have been amazing from back then. Yeah, so damn you BBC for spoiling everything. It just goes on and on. Well, yeah, this isn't the last reveal, so that's something. But yeah, the human Dalek's kind of bizarre. But I suppose that's the idea. It's like half Dalek flesh in a human body. So that's pretty much it. The Daleks decide they need to evolve because they realise humans always survive, the Daleks do not, and they need to change themselves. Not for the better, of course. The cults go around to find new ways of killing or surviving, but they don't want to, make the world better. They just want to basically make their own survivals. Yeah, good episode. Part 2 kind of sucks. It falls apart at the end horribly. I'll get into that tomorrow, but. Yeah, I always like part 1. Good atmosphere, great bit in the sewers of the Dalek, moving through each, you see its shadows as the Doctor hides, of course. Yeah, obligatory Rose reference. No. They always survive. I lose everything. Yep, because you lost Rose, the only person in the world that matters to you. Yeah, I just keep thinking of a quote from a future episode. You're not the only person who lost somebody, Doctor. And yeah, God, I wish they'd had someone just slap him in the face like, Donna, if she was a companion, this would have done. Just, shut the hell up, man. Just stop going on. People die or don't die, but get, kept away from people. It happens. So, yeah, I still hate that stuff and it just wrecks the series. But, yeah, ignoring all that stuff. Great atmosphere. Daleks, the plan's quite an interesting one. I'm pretty sure they've never done anything like this before, and it's fun to see them trying something new, even if they're in a pretty poor time zone where they're not exactly got the best tech available. But yeah, that's it then. So yeah, good episode, great ideas, good atmosphere, good creepiness, great shots of the Daleks in the dark. Quite a cool scene with watching the Dalek and the Mr. Diagris just standing side by side, watching over New York, talking like they were equals or something. That's a good shot watching the Dalek think about how his planet is gone, because yeah, it got bloated, it got destroyed in the Time War as well, it seems. Well, a war, it may not be the Time War, maybe something else. Oh, look at that, 8 minutes, I should probably get going. But yeah, thanks for watching the bit. I will see you for part 2, Evolution Daleks. Much better title. Until then.